Hello and welcome to Mulch, with me, your host Rebecca Anning Brown. This is a weekly podcast for flower farmers who want to build a confident flower farming practice that reflects the lifestyle that you want now and in the future. Each week I'll share conversation and tips to nurture and grow you and your flower farm. I'll open conversations that flower farmers find difficult to talk about, provide approaches that will help you to make decisions, chuckle at the idiosyncrasies of our work, and always be real and honest about my own work as a flower farmer. My goal is to help you to grow a curious, confident and grounded flower farming practice that flourishes as a business that you love and are proud to shout about. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and if you like what you hear, please do leave a review and share the podcast with your flower farming friends. It really does help to grow a confident and successful flower farming community.
Hello everyone, it's Rebecca from Silver Grey Foliage and the Flower Farming Business School. How are you? We are into the third week of January. It's flipping freezing. It's about to be really windy. It's not raining. Let's give the weather its due. It's not raining. But as my friend Hattie said on social media today, maybe yesterday, it feels like day 723 of January. Listen, we are in January. It is the depths getting towards the end, the middle to the end of winter. The world is supposed to hibernate. We are supposed to sleep more, rest more, eat more, and regain our strength for the spring, summer and autumn to come. So I know it's frustrating, and I know that you're excited about the flowers to come. I am too. But just allow yourselves a moment. Just allow yourselves a moment to sleep a little longer over the cold, windy days. To watch and reflect a bit more, and to enjoy the last of the darker evenings. It's light. Well, by definition of light, I mean I can see the driveway when we get home now from the school run. So the longer, lighter days are coming. And like all of you, I cannot wait. I hate winter. I hate the short, dark, cold days. It is not my thing. But I also know that the season ahead is long. It's exciting and full of flowers and foliage and planting and gutting and customers and all of those things. But it's long. To just allow yourselves to rest. There'll be more about rest next week. I am so excited about next week's episode of Mulch. It is Mulch first. I'm so excited. But for now, today, we're not talking about rest. We are talking about your websites, your profiles, and your visibility. Why, Rebecca? Why are we talking about us and our visibility when you're excited about next week? Well, this week I have been burying my head in a number of things that I consider to be boring but necessary, but also slightly fun. And they lead to the more fun things. I have spent a lot of time working on our gorgeous new website that's been designed for us by Studio Cotton, who are a small business, not that small, small but powerful and mighty business based in Bristol. So we're sticking with our usual theme of working with strong women. We do work with men as well, but we work with a lot of strong women who just happen to have presented themselves before me. So it's not that I've gone out and looked for them, it's that they've been noticeable and noted, and they're flipping awesome at what they do. And so their businesses have become part of our wider team. The website is gorgeous, and I guess I should admit that our website has actually been made in terms of its structure now for 11 months. So it was ready last February for me to start editing. The hope was that it would be ready last January, and that's because January is our quietest month, and it's the time when I have the headspace and the capacity to do the sort of work and rework and review and rediscussion of structure and buttons and where they go and what I do and do not want it to look like and what I do and do not want to offer and all of those things. So by the time I had access to the website, I tinkered with it all year, but I didn't have that kind of focused time and attention. Is it wasted money? Well, the website is still there, but I would argue that money has been wasted, absolutely, because I've still been paying for a monthly subscription to Shopify for a rubbish website built by me for the past 11 months. So January for me has been a lot about getting the website seen off, and we're almost there. I'm really excited. It's utterly brilliant. The other thing that I've been doing, which is definitely not boring, is looking at new customer messages. So new customer messages are how Shopify tell me that I have somebody who is interested in working with us. And the two go hand in hand, because one of the things that I'm really keen on for our website is clarity. Clarity about who we are, what we do, how we do it, who we work with, what we sell, what we don't sell, and how people can buy from us. I'm really keen that it's really obvious when people come to the website which part of the website is for them and how they can contact us and how they can start working with us. And so when I'm looking at these new customer messages, I check all of them out. Nobody makes it onto our florist list without me having had a look either on Google or on your website or on your social platforms, wherever you hide. Because I want to know that we're working with businesses that align with our ethics and values. And by our ethics and values, I don't mean necessarily the flowers that you work with. Yes, I would love it if every single florist that we worked with only worked with British flowers, only worked with seasonal flowers and foliage, and only, of course, worked with us. But that's just not realistic, because I can't grow enough flowers for that to happen. And there is still a mismatch, certainly within the UK, between what's needed and what's being grown. So there's space and capacity for all of us to grow more, and there is a need for our florists to have a proportion of their flowers from further afield. That's my view. You can take it or leave it, you can agree with it or otherwise, but that is my view, that actually for florists to be able to run their business in the current environment, they need more flowers before they can commit to using just British all year round. I do feel like things are moving in that sort of direction, but it will and does take time. And so for me, that's something that we work with. We know that a lot, not all, but a lot of our florists work with more than just British flowers. Okay. Now, why is that relevant? It's relevant because when I look at the websites, when I look at the social media, when I look at who these businesses are, there are a few things that I look for in particular first. I look for who these people are. I look for what their names are, how they present themselves. I look for whereabouts in the country they are, and I look at the descriptions of their work and how they describe the flowers that they work with. Okay, so here are my top tips, not necessarily for working with us at Silver Grey Foliage, but for working with anybody, for your customers to find you and to know who you are. These are the things that they need to know about you. If you've done your business plan, these things will be really, really clear. And so it's easy to copy and paste, or to make sure that you just translate your business plan into your website, your Instagram profile, your LinkedIn profile, or whatever they call it these days, your Twitter, X, or whatever they call it again. But it's really easy to translate these things. So this isn't about working with us necessarily, though I'd love to work with you, obviously. This is about your customers, whether it's brides and grooms, florists for wholesale and trade, funeral customers, whoever it is. These are the things that people want to be able to find without having to search into the depths of your website. Okay, so my top tips. Number 1, tell people your name. People buy from people. Make it really clear. My name is Rebecca, and my flower farm is called Silver Grey Foliage, and we are in. There's my top tip number 2. On your front page, up close and personal, whether it's the top, middle or bottom. Tell people where you are. I shouldn't need to look for a contact form and then the tiny print at the bottom of the contact form to find out that you're in Tewkesbury or Edinburgh or Outer Mongolia or actually the United States, as I found with one customer. It shouldn't be that hard. It should be easily accessible to me as a potential customer where you are. Okay. The third point is be clear and honest in your words and your images. There has to be a match. Everything has to coordinate for it to sit right, for people to feel comfortable, to want to buy from you, sell to you, work with you in the future. Okay? So seasonal refers to flowers that are in season in the country that you live in. So that could be France, Germany, Japan, the United States. It doesn't matter what country you're in. The key thing is, are those flowers in season in the country where you reside? If the answer is no, and you have flowers that are flown in from somewhere else, that's not a sin. It's part of your business. It's how you maintain your business continuity. But it's really important that we are not misleading our customers and leading them to expect it to be reasonable to have roses in January and to think that they're seasonal, because that's just not the case for many, many, many countries. If you're in the Southern Hemisphere, yes, it's correct for you, but if you're not, then I'd question whether that's an accurate description of your work. And so, give it a name. Call it the Agatha bouquet or the bouquet of the month or something. I'm sure most of you, all of you, are more creative than me. Come up with a name for, it's January, so maybe all of the names of your bouquets are Janice, Joan and Jeanette. And February comes and so maybe they are Felix and Freddie and other names that might be associated with sexy young men that would be buying bouquets for wonderfully gorgeous, beautiful women in February on the 14th. Be playful with your names. But please, don't call it seasonal if the flowers are evidently not in season where you are. Okay, those of you who know me know that I can actually be more than slightly ranty. And so I'm trying my hardest to curtail my rant today to something that's acceptable for our podcast. The purpose of me sharing this information is to make it easier for your customers to find you, for your customers to choose to work with you, and for people to want to spend their money with you. They need to know who you are because people buy from people. They need to know where you are to know whether they actually can buy from you. And they need to trust what they see. The cycle is always the same. No like, trust, no like, trust, no like, trust, buy. This is what our customers do. Help them on that process. Okay, my name is Rebecca and I am being very ranty today and I ask you to forgive me, but I really hope that you find my 3 top tips in relation to your website and all of your profiles to be helpful. I will be back next week with an episode about flower farming in practice. It's an episode for me with a twist. It's a first, and I am so excited. I hope that the weather becomes more tolerable very soon. But in the meantime, wherever you are, look after yourselves, and I'll be back next week with an episode about flower farming in practice. Rebecca.